I threw a birthday party for my little daughter. She actually turned 2, and I just wanted all my family to come together and be together as it would be like an incident happened. As me getting ready to start my baby, to start cutting her cake and stuff, everybody's getting together around and just
learning more tonight about a devastating shooting in Stockton that's left 3 children and an adult dead.
Almost 24 hours later, no arrests, and the sheriff is now asking the public for help.
You every night, every morning. Every night, every morning, that boy would tell me he loved me.
It was supposed to be a celebration, a room full of laughter, balloons, and a birthday cake waiting to be cut for a 2-year-old little girl. But in less than 2 minutes, that joy turned into absolute chaos. Gunshots, screaming, children running for their lives. When the smoke cleared, 4 people were dead, including an 8-year-old girl who was just 2 weeks away from her 9th birthday. This wasn't random. This was calculated. And the people they came for, they're still alive. If you want to dive deep into cases like this, cases that leave you questioning everything, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and turn on your notifications so you never miss an upload here on Shadow Crime. Trust me, you'll want to stay for this one. Now, let me take you back to November 30th, 2025, Stockton, California, a city that's no stranger to violence. But what happened that Saturday evening shocked even the most hardened residents. Around 6 p.m., over 100 people gathered at a small banquet hall on Lucile Avenue. Families, kids, friends. They were there to celebrate a birthday. Nothing more. The cake was about to be cut. Everyone was smiling, taking pictures, enjoying the moment. And that's when they walked in. Multiple shooters, armed, determined. They didn't hesitate. They opened fire inside the hall, and when people tried to run outside, the shooting continued. Bullets flew everywhere. Parents grabbed their children and hit the ground. Some tried to shield others with their own bodies. The sound of gunfire mixed with the screams of terrified kids. It was absolute mayhem. When it was over, 4 people were gone. Let me tell you about them because they deserve to be remembered as more than just statistics. Maya Lupian was 8 years old. 8! She was a 3rd grader who loved karate. Her family said she was excited about turning 9 in just 2 weeks. She had her whole life ahead of her. Then there was a 9-year-old child whose name hasn't been fully released. Just a kid at a birthday party. Amari Peterson was 14. He loved basketball. He was a teenager with dreams, with friends, with a future. And Susano Archuleta, 21 years old, barely an adult himself. 13 others were shot and survived, but their lives are changed forever. One of them, Jasmine Delafos, is a community leader who works in violence prevention. Think about that. She spends her time trying to stop this exact kind of violence, and she ended up shot at a child's birthday party. She had to undergo surgery and now needs rehab just to recover. But here's where this gets even darker. The shooters didn't come for the kids. They didn't come for the families. They came for 2 people.
I'm lost of words, I'm speechless, and I just want to say I'm sorry to all the mothers out there that lost their kids at my birthday party. I don't even know what was going on. Everybody was inside. It was just a misunderstanding. Everybody was getting ready to cut the cake, like I said, and I actually thought it was my balloons popping. It was gunshots. So it's my daughter's niece. Both his nieces passed away. My sister actually got shot. My cousin got shot. My son's friend got shot. My 3 of my friends got shot. My friend's baby dad got shot and got killed. Yes, I work for the AA Whole Life Center. I work with the youth. And this is why it's really hurting me, because I see youth all day. I see kids all day. I'm a mother of 3. So for me to see kids on the floor and just bleeding and I can't help them, and I help people that I help the youth at my job, it was hurting me not to help them on the floor. Try not to be in public all the time with your kids, because anything can happen and bullet does not have a name. I believe that if you guys ever have a birthday party, Just have a birthday party indoors and don't be outside.
Two rappers, MBNel and Flyboy Doughy, and both of them survived while for innocent people, including 3 children, paid the price with their lives. So who are these guys? MBNel is a Filipino-American rapper from Stockton. He's not hiding what he is. He's an admitted member of the Muddy Boy Crips. He raps about it, posts about it, lives it. Flyboy Doughy, also known as Nano, he's with the Flyboy Crips. And here's the thing, this party, it was for his daughter, his 2-year-old daughter. He threw a birthday party for his little girl, and it turned into a massacre. Now, law enforcement confirmed something that makes this even more chilling. This wasn't some random act of violence. This wasn't someone snapping or losing control. This was planned. The shooters walked into that banquet hall looking for MBNel and Flyboy Doughy specifically. They knew they'd be there. They knew there'd be a crowd. And they didn't care. The motive? An ongoing beef with a gang called EBK. We're talking about a gang war that's been brewing in Stockton streets, and it spilled into a room full of children celebrating a birthday. Think about that for a second. Someone made the decision that their gang rivalry was more important than the lives of kids eating cake and playing games. After the shooting, MBNel's father spoke to reporters and said his son is now in hiding, fearing for his life. Can you imagine that? Your beef with someone gets innocent children killed, and now you're running scared. Meanwhile, those families are planning funerals for their babies. But let's talk about what happened after the shots stopped, because this is where the investigation gets frustrating. The San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office, along with the FBI, ATF, and multiple local agencies, they all descended on the scene. They found shell casings everywhere, multiple vehicles riddled with bullet holes. They even discovered firearms on the roof of the building, though it's still unclear if those were connected to the attack. A neighbor's house nearby was hit by at least 10 bullets. 3 of them went straight through the walls. This wasn't just a shooting, it was a war zone. And here's what really gets me. The sheriff's office came out and said they're having a hard time getting cooperation from people who were at the party. 100 people were there, 100 witnesses, and people aren't talking. Now, I get it. In communities where gang violence is common, there's fear. There's a no-snitching mentality. There's legitimate concern about retaliation. But we're talking about dead children here. An 8-year-old girl who loved karate, a 9-year-old kid, a 14-year-old who played basketball. The sheriff, Patrick Withrow, he didn't mince words. He looked straight into the cameras and said, "We're coming for you. There's nothing you can do now. You've created this horror, and we're going to get you."
So as you know, approximately 21 hours ago, a little before 6 o'clock, we had a mass shooting at a child's birthday party here in Stockton, in the county region of Stockton. Our units responded and found approximately 15 victims of gunshot wounds at this party, and unfortunately 4 of those 15 are deceased now. I am confident in our team and with the work that we have done so far, that we will find these animals that did this and bring them to justice. But we still need the public's help on this. We need everyone who has any information on this to reach out to us. This is the time for our community to show that we will not put up with this type of behavior where people will just walk in and kill children. We are diligently following up everything that we have so far. So please continue to give us more information, and we will follow every single lead and be very detail-oriented so that the moment that we have these subjects in custody, we will be able to hold them accountable, and our DA will be able to charge them and make sure that they will never be able to do this again to anyone else. We're confident that this was not a random act. They walked into this area and was probably looking for somebody in particular. Why they did that, what they're part of, who they are, we don't know, but this was not somebody who was unacquainted with them. We don't believe it was not something where the rest of the public has to fear. This wasn't just some terrorist type attack where they walked in and just wanted to kill people. So we're not gonna say whether it's gang related or not until we have all the facts in front of us. You know, we believe from what we've gathered so far that there appears to be multiple shooters, but once again, we've gathered all the evidence, we're processing it, and then detectives will continue to investigate, and it'll take a little while, because as we gather the evidence, we'll find out whether there was one gun or multiple guns, or if we look at videos or we get statements from people if there was one shooter or multiple shooters. So once again, we're gonna be very diligent before we say definitively what there was.
Maya Lupian's family had to bury their 8-year-old daughter. The parents of that 9-year-old child had to pick out a casket smaller than most coffee tables. Amari Peterson's friends had to say goodbye to their 14-year-old teammate. Susano Archuleta's family lost their 21-year-old son. And for what? Because 2 rappers had beef with another gang? The survivors are dealing with their own nightmare. 13 people are recovering from gunshot wounds. Some of them will have permanent disabilities. All of them will have permanent trauma. Every time they hear a loud noise, they'll flinch. Every time they go to a party, they'll scope out the exits. Some of them will never feel safe in crowds again. And those are just the people who got physically shot. What about the other 80-something people who were there? The kids who watched their friends get killed? The parents who couldn't protect their children? The trauma ripples out like a stone thrown in water, touching everyone.
Limited information that I can provide at this time. I'm going to refer to my notes, though. Shortly before 6:00 p.m. tonight, our dispatch received reports of possible gunshots near the 1900 block of Lucile Avenue. What we have confirmed at this time is that there was a banquet hall where a family was celebrating. We have 14 victims of this shooting. 4 of those are deceased. The victims have been transported to local hospitals throughout the area. This is a very active and ongoing investigation. Information remains very limited at this time. Early indications suggest that this may be a targeted incident. Investigators are exploring all possibilities at this time. Detectives are working diligently to determine the circumstances leading up to this incident. We are urging anyone with information, whether it's videotape, surveillance, maybe you're in the area and you saw something, to please contact the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office. Our number 1 priority right now is identifying the suspect in this incident. We're very grateful for our local law enforcement agencies. We have called out several agencies to come in and assist, including Manteca Police Department, Stockton PD. We've got the District Attorney's Office. We have the FBI.
Here's what makes this even more maddening. The shooters had to know children would be there. This was a 2-year-old's birthday party. There were balloons. There was a cake. There were little kids running around in party clothes. And they walked in any way and started firing. That takes a special kind of evil. That takes someone who's so consumed by gang loyalty or revenge or whatever twisted logic they're using that human life means absolutely nothing to them. The investigation is still active. The sheriff's department is processing evidence. They're following leads. They're waiting for someone to come forward with information that actually matters. But every day that passes without an arrest is another day those families are waiting for justice. Another day the shooters are free. Another day the community lives in fear that this could happen again. And it will happen again if nothing changes. That's the brutal truth. Stockton has been dealing with gang violence for decades. This shooting, as horrific as it is, isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a pattern. Young men joining gangs. Beefs escalating. Retaliation. More violence. More death. The cycle just keeps spinning, and innocent people keep getting caught in the crossfire. So here's what I want you to think about. At what point does gang loyalty become mass murder? When you know your presence somewhere puts innocent people at risk, what's your responsibility? If you're living a life where people want you dead, do you have the right to bring that danger into spaces with children? And for the people who were there that night who know something but won't talk, how do you live with yourself knowing the shooters are still out there? How do you look at the families of those dead children and justify your silence? These aren't easy questions, and maybe there aren't easy answers. But they're questions we need to keep asking because 4 people are dead, 3 of them children, and somebody out there knows exactly who pulled those triggers. If this case got to you, if you want to see justice for Maya, for Amari, for that 9-year-old child, for Susano, then don't just watch and forget. Share this video. Get people talking. Keep this case in the public eye until those responsible are behind bars. And make sure you're subscribed to Shadow Crime, because we don't let these stories fade away. Hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and turn on notifications so you're here when we cover the updates. Because trust me, we'll be following this until justice is served. The shooters are still out there, but they won't be forever.